11 months after breaching Australia's fortress, the Gabba, India have now traveled South Africa and breached their fortress, Centurion. Indian cricket is making a habit out of breaching fortresses, and now India 1-0 up. So let's look at how India did that and what would they look to do in the next test in the Johannesburg. Look at that and more in today's video. So hello everyone, welcome to Crunch Sports. Yes, again, it's been a while since our last video, but here we are covering the India or South Africa series, and I think we will have more regular videos coming out from this video onwards. So let's get straight into it. Yes, India have managed to win the first test at South Africa. This is only India's fourth test win in that country. So yeah, it's something to cherish. And this year, India has been doing very well overseas. I mean, the past year, 2021, India have been doing very well overseas. Because see, they went to Australia, they beat them there. They beat them at Gabba, which Tim Payne asked us to do. We did that, and then we traveled to England. We lead the series there right now. We are 2-1 there, and we beat them at Lord, which is a big deal there too. It's kind of like the fortress for England. And now South Africa, we have traveled South Africa, we have beat them as Centurion, which India have not managed to do in cricket history. So this is something big happening in Indian cricket. We are becoming a strong touring side, which always every cricketing nation dreams of, and that's becoming a reality for India. So kudos to that. And yeah, so let's now rewind for a bit. Let's talk about the first test. Let's see what India did different or what India did good to win the first test. So yeah, let's get into it. Talking about what India did good in the first test. I mean, if your openers are giving you a good start, then it's always a very big plus for the touring team. Or if you're with the home team, if the openers fire for you, then you are on the way to get a big score in the first innings of a test, which might determine the pace at which the game goes. So again, we lost Rohit Sharma due to an injury, which is unfortunate. But Mayank Agarwal came in and proved his worth too. Him along with KL Rahul. KL Rahul, in my opinion, put on a masterclass. The first 40, 50 deliveries, he was, getting the feel of the pitch, getting used to the conditions. But after that, I think he really took off. And I think he now understands his role as an opener for India. He's becoming mature by the game, by the innings, if you want to say that. And it really showed in the way he played, at the first innings. To my point again, I think India checked the first box, as to getting the runs in the first innings. 320, yes, they could have got more from where they were. They could have got a lot more. But 320, I think, was a very good score, especially in the first test for first innings of a first test if you're touring side. So again, the key is that KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal both got on the scoreboard. KL Rahul got a 120, an amazing innings, and Mayank Agarwal also played very well for his 60. And then after that, Pujara, an unfortunate dismissal. Or then after that, I think for both Kohli and Ajinkya, the big innings isn't far away because Kohli looked pretty good for his 35 to 40 odd runs, which he scored in the first innings. And Rahane, I think he looked very confident. I think someone has spoken to him. I don't know, maybe the new coach or the captain himself have gone ahead and spoken to him, about his game and addressed a few problems. Because it's not about we know he has potential, but it's just about the confidence which he didn't play with in the previous tours. But now I think he has found that confidence, and I think for both Virat and Ajinkya, I don't think 100 or a big innings is that far away. And then coming to India's bowling. I think Shami was simply outstanding. He got a 5-wicket haul and reached his 200 wicket mark. So he had something to celebrate there. But he bowled very well, in my opinion. He kept hitting the right spots every single time. And I think that's what's required when you're touring from your fast bowlers, especially in places like South Africa and Australia. Like your fast bowlers are on song. If that's happening and your openers are scoring runs, I think 40% of the job is done right there. And both of that happened for India in the first match itself, which is very good to see. And yeah, Shami, I think he came back, and I think he's proving his worth in this Indian team. Yeah, he Shami did bowl well for his 5-wicket haul. But if you ask me, who is the star of the match, or the first test match, um, I would go with KL Rahul, because after because it was a match where scoring runs was tough. South Africa, being the home team, even they found it tough to cross 200. But Rahul came out and didn't make it look easy, but he grinded it through, and he played really well. There were hardly any loose shots, so on a wicket which supported the bowlers, always had something for the fast bowlers. I think KL Rahul did a very good job of seeing out the new ball and carrying his innings. Yes, India could have got a lot more in the first innings, but things happened, and I think India came back very well with the ball after that to make up for the runs they lost in the first innings. So now, moving on, let's go to the second test and let's see some of the possible factors which India might consider before playing the game. So Wanderers, Johannesburg, the next match is going to be played. Historically, it has favored pace more than spin. South Africa, it's pretty obvious. So should India go ahead with five paces, or play Ashwin? That's the question that I think everybody will be asking. But in my opinion, I think you have to play their best team. And I think Ashwin will be able to make the cut, because even the last game didn't have much for spinners, but he was able to get the last two wickets. And I think he's also a value addition when it comes to batting. In the last few years, his batting has improved, substantially. So if you keep that in mind, and with no Hardik, people like Hardik Pandya, we'll be losing him. So I think we'll have to play Ashwin in this place. If there was Pandya, then it would make sense that he's playing, and no Jadeja also. So I think it makes sense that Ashwin plays as a bowler who can bat. And he's a spinner, yes, but I think Ashwin is a spinner who doesn't rely on the conditions, irrespective of where he plays. He has the ability to pick the wickets, and I think that's why we will see him play. And yeah, so with that being covered and that being said, I think I won't see any changes for India's lineup, because I think the first test was the best lineup we could put forward with the squad we had. So I think we'll play with the same team. And yeah, with the batting looks pretty strong. If the openers are scoring, then that's a big pressure off our middle order, which is not, amongst the runs in the past few test matches. But and once they come to the party, I think we'll just look a whole different team. So yeah, and we have a good bowling attack in Bumrah and Shami. Even Bumrah bowled very well in the last test match. Unfortunately, he was out because of injury for a little while, but then he came back and finished the innings for us. And so yeah, no changes in the squad as far as I'm concerned. And let's look at the let's guess who will be the star player for each team in this test match. For India, mm, I think it'll be Jasprit Bumrah this time around. Last match he was not really there for the whole time in the ground. I think this match he will be there and he'll make a statement. He'll probably get a 5 wicket haul. And for South Africa, the Cox is retired, and I think he was the core of their batting. And now South Africa don't really have a someone to fall back to if they lose two or three early wickets. Dean Elgar is there, but then he's the opener, and if he gets out, I think their batting really looks pretty blunt. And I mean, Aiden Markram, Van Dustin are names we hear and we know they can perform, but they haven't really stepped up their game or stepped up to the plate to prove their capability. It would be nice if they play very well, some interest in the game. So yeah, and South Africa's bowling, I think that looks pretty sorted. Rabada, but then no Norkia again. Lungi Ngidi has been doing a very good job as a pacer. So yeah, it's going to be the same story again, in my opinion. But yeah, for South Africa, I think he'll be Dean Elgar, because he has to step it up. He's the captain, and with De Kock not there, I mean, which is a big blow for South Africa. There's just more responsibility on his shoulders. So I think he'll get the best out of him, and he'll probably get a 50 or 100. I think if that happens, only then South Africa has a chance to win the game against India. Uh, so yeah, let's get. And then who do you think is the top performer for India and South Africa? Put that in the comments. And when it comes to the result, I think hands down India is taking this. Unless theyre or someone steps up big time and puts forward a masterclass, I think India is taking this because the teams on paper and on the field, I think India is a better team. Don't disrespect South Africa; they have been playing good cricket, but then India is just too strong a team at this point. So yeah, I think India would take this, and I think uh, they'll make it 2-0 after this test match. So put your thoughts in the comments. Whom do you think will win the game? Will be India, South Africa? Who do you think will be the star players from each side? Put that in the comments as well. Yes, put your thoughts, put your suggestions, anything in the comments. We'll take it. And yeah, that's for the video, guys. Thanks for watching.